Hi, this is Amber from Board Game Blitz, and I love escape rooms. Escape rooms might be my favorite thing to do because I love working together with friends to solve puzzles. I love puzzles and I love time limits and real-time stress. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to get my friends together to play a real-life escape room in a while due to various factors. But luckily, there are a lot of alternatives in the form of escape room board games. I actually played escape room board games when they first were coming out, and I was still doing physical escape rooms too, but there are more and more escape room board games coming out, and I just love that there are so many coming out, so many different types, and I want to play all of them. But unfortunately, I haven't played all of them. I've only played most of them, or some of them at least. And I actually tried to compile a spreadsheet of the different systems that I've done and some info on them, like replayability and needing the internet or something. But instead, I'm going to go over some of the ones that I enjoy here, complete with a helpful infographic. Emphasis on the info, not the graphic part. But anyways, there are different reasons why people like escape rooms. Some people like the escape rooms doing it with your family for family fun. Some people like the puzzles. Some people like the immersion and the theme. So I tried to break out the escape room board games into these different types for like reasons that you like escape rooms and which you would like more. I personally really like the puzzles in escape rooms the most. I like the other stuff too, like immersion and theme with the puzzles, but I want a lot of puzzles in my escape room. So my go-to escape room board game for puzzles is the Exit the Game series. These are not replayable, so it involves cutting up and tearing, folding of components. But there's a lot of different games in the series, like 20 to 30. And each one does have a theme, but usually the theme doesn't matter too much and it's more emphasis on solving puzzles. Each one has like 10 puzzles that you're going through. They range from like physical puzzles where you're like folding paper or like making a 3D object to logic puzzles and number puzzles. The way they do all the answers is through this wheel that has 3 digits, usually numbers. And you'll have a 3-digit number for the answer of each clue. And then you rotate the wheel and it tells you which answer card you go to in a deck of cards. And so you like proceed through that. But I really like the exit games. And they also have jigsaw puzzles now and advent calendars. So there's a lot of exit games to go through. Another one that only has a couple games in the series is the Curious Elevator of Mr. Hincks and the Curious Stairs of Mr. Hincks. These ones had really fun puzzles for me. Also, they had like physical components, very nice components, and the puzzles were different and interesting because some of them involved the physical components and doing different things to them. I can't spoil any of these, so I can't like go into much detail. But like I really enjoyed the Curious Elevator and the Curious Stairs of Mr. Hincks. The Curious Stairs was more difficult, so it had more difficult puzzles, but both of them were very enjoyable. Another one that some people like that I didn't particularly like that much is Deckscape. This is just a deck of cards and each puzzle is just like on a card. You flip it over to see if you got the answer right. So this is, I think, more family-friendly puzzles. There's a light theme on there as well, but like you're just flipping through the deck and solving each puzzle as you come to it. On the opposite side of just puzzle escape rooms is the pure story escape rooms. So there are some board games that are just focused mostly on the story and don't have any puzzles at all. And so one of my favorites from that is the adventure games. This is more reminiscent of a point-and-click adventure on the computer. So the adventure games are stories. There's books with passages in them, and you're going to different places on the board, which is made up of different cards. So there's like a little bit of puzzle in like going to different places and finding items and then using them somewhere else. But it's mostly story-driven. There's different chapters and you're going through the story. And there's no time limit, so there's no stress in like having to solve the puzzles. You'll eventually figure out what you need to do and get there. But it's mostly based on stories. So there's a few different ones in the series and more coming out with different stories, and I like them all. Another one that is more emphasis on the stories is Echoes, which is actually an audio game. So in this game, there's a bunch of different cards with different pictures on them, and you scan it with your phone. So you need to use your phone with the app, and it gives an audio clue. And you're basically piecing together the audio clues. So you put the cards in order to tell a story. It's basically pure story. You're just listening to the audio clues and putting them in order, and then you hear the whole story. So that's just discovering a story kind of out of order and putting it in order. Another one I've enjoyed with Heavy Story is the Escapes Tales series. This one also has puzzles, but I don't like the puzzles that much. Sometimes like it's kind of impossible or like confusing to do the puzzles. They don't make that much sense. So I end up using the hints or something. But it does have more story because it also has a book with different paragraphs that you're reading and you're going to different places. So kind of like a choose your own adventure, point and click adventure. But the ones in this series seem to be more adult oriented, I think. They have darker themes than the adventure games ones, I think, in general. Similar to story is Immersion. So the most immersive escape room type game that I've played is Box 1. And that's about all I can tell you about it. But that one's available, I think, at Target. It was made by Neil Patrick Harris, and it says it's for one person to play, but you could probably play it like with a couple people just acting as one person. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I played it one player and it was very immersive. If you like this video so far, please click the like button. But let's get on to our next category of more escape room board games. Another thing I like in escape rooms is physical locks, which is a lot harder to replicate in board games. So like physical locks that you're actually opening, that happens a lot in escape rooms. You're going around to the different rooms and opening locks. But in board games, you're usually just at a table with paper and cardboard components. But there are some with actual physical locks that are fun to use. So for this one, the Escape Room in a Box series is really fun. There's, I think, Flashback, Werewolf Experiment, and I think a couple other. But those ones have actual physical plastic locks that come in the game. And so you figure out the code and then you open the lock, or like there's other different physical things. I really enjoyed it. I actually haven't played the Werewolf one, which I heard is really good, but I played Flashback and I think a couple of others in that series. But that series has a lot of fun physical aspects. And if you really want to go further into physical locks, there's a lot of puzzle boxes. So I haven't done a lot of these because they tend to be a lot more expensive. They're usually like wooden, elaborate puzzle boxes. But I did get a review copy of Tales of Ord, which is a puzzle box with other puzzles. I think it wasn't just the puzzle box, it had other stuff too. That included a physical puzzle box made out of wood where you actually open the puzzle box. And then the last category I have is family fun, which is just simpler on the puzzle side, but usually is a combination of puzzles and theme and just fun for the whole family. So other than Exit the Game series, the other big escape room board game series is Unlock, which I think is good for family fun. Compared to Exit, Unlock has more story and I think fewer puzzles, or simpler puzzles usually. The game is just a deck of cards and maybe some other materials, but it's replayable. So like after you play it, you can give it to someone else to play. Obviously you can't replay it yourself because you already know what everything is. Unlock also uses an app on your phone, so that helps make it more immersive and also helps with some of the cool things, like sometimes it uses the camera on the phone to interact with the cards and stuff. So it does some really neat things with that. There's a lot of different sets with different themes, so you can pick one that your family is interested in. There's ones that are more kid-friendly and there's ones that are a little scarier. But overall, a lot of them are a good time. The one problem I have with Unlock is like it involves sometimes looking for hidden numbers, so it's kind of hard to see some of the hidden numbers in the cards. You have to look really closely. But it does have hints on the app that help you, so like you can turn on the automatic hints to find hidden numbers, which is what I do, because I don't like just searching for these hidden numbers. But with that turned on, I really like the Unlock series. And I think the recent ones that they've come out with in the past few years, they come out with box sets of 3 in 1, but I think like a lot of those are really good. Another series that I've only played one of is the Coded Chronicles series. I played the Scooby-Doo one. There's a couple other in the series that might not be as family friendly because I think it's themed around like The Shining and then The Goonies. So The Shining one might not be very family friendly. But the Scooby-Doo one was a lot of fun. It's a fun theme. It also involves some physical components like putting together physical puzzle pieces, not like jigsaw puzzle, but like physical things for the puzzle. And I really enjoyed that. And then it had like a cool story because it has passages that you read. So each character in the game, it had all of the different Scooby characters, has a book with passages that you read, and you can like go to different places and interact with things and see what happens. So it was like a mix between point and click adventure, but it also had puzzles in it. The best of everything. And the last series that I'm talking about in this video is Escape Room the Game. All of these series have such similar names, so it's kind of hard to keep track of them. But in Escape Room the Game, it also has a lot of physical stuff. What makes it like really cool, I think, for family fun is it comes with a box with like keys that you put into it for the different codes. So when you solve a puzzle and have the code, you put the keys that correspond to the code into the box, and the box is running the timer as well, and then it knows that you got it right. So then it like plays a sound and it goes on to the next one. And so I think that's a lot of fun, makes it more immersive too. So even if the puzzles aren't super difficult, it's a lot of fun just like fiddling with the machine. I will say that sometimes I think the machine doesn't work very well. I've seen people, they're playing and then it doesn't actually work. Like you have the right code and it doesn't work. So it can get a little buggy with that. But when it does work, it's pretty neat. So that was just some of the escape room game series that I've played. And there are so many more and more coming out all the time, which is so exciting. And I didn't even talk about virtual escape rooms or print at home escape rooms, which there are a lot of. And I haven't done nearly as many of those as I've done board game escape rooms. And then there's also like the puzzle boxes. Oh, and there's also murder mystery ones, which aren't like escape rooms because they're usually not timed, but it's like solving murder mysteries with physical components and stuff. So there's a lot of games in this kind of genre of puzzle solving and immersion and cool things that you get to look at. So even if you can't go to physical escape rooms because you have young kids or for other reasons, it's a great time to be an escape room enthusiast because there are so many options out there. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe for more videos, and before you escape this video, please check out our other videos on our channel because we have lots of videos about board games, not necessarily about escape room games, but Other board games are great too. Thanks for watching Board Game Blitz. Bye.